Hello, everybody. This project is called Score Hide and Seek with Gobo. Well, I've changed up how we're going to do this in this project. Here's Gobo. Gobo is on the moon backdrop, and we're going to score how many times you can click on Gobo, because Gobo is going to hide and then display again, and you have to click on it. If every time you click on it, when you see Gobo, the score will increment by 1. The only instructions I'm really going to give you is there's the moon backdrop and a Gobo sprite. And you're also going to keep score. Now, to do that, this is something new, I believe, that we haven't talked about yet in the video, is how to create a variable, and we're going to call it score. So I'll show that to you when we get into Scratch. So the program, there's actually 2 lines of code, the left one and the right one. So let's look at the right one. It says when this sprite is clicked, that's Gobo. So this is the code for Gobo. Every time you click on Gobo, it's going to make a sound, and it's going to change the score by a +1. So it's going to increment the score variable. And if you look up here, score shows up. It's a variable in Scratch. That's what they're called in Scratch. They're called variables because it's a number that's going to vary. It's going to be a different number. So that's a little program on the right side. On the left side is a longer one. Here's what we're going to do. When you click the green check mark, it's going to set your variable score to 0. It's going to have Gobo go to 0, 0. So these two kind of initialize. Then it's going to show Gobo and say, click me to score points for 2 seconds. So these are all blocks that are going to be initializing Gobo and the score. Below that are blocks that are going to now run forever. So what it's going to do, it's going to hide Gobo for 1 second. So here's a little comment. This timer is the hiding time for Gobo. It's going to hide for 1 second. And while it's hidden, oops, let me zoom back in here. There we go. Let's try this again. While it's hidden, it's going to, okay, if I screwed up, if you move blocks like that by accident, just right click and undo. So while it's hidden for 1 second, it's going to go to these coordinates for X. So this is the coordinate, and it's going to randomly pick the numbers between -200 and 200. So the X coordinate, if you remember, is horizontal. And the Y coordinate is also going to be randomly selected. So here's the Y, and this was X. So it's going to randomly choose an XY coordinate, and then Gobo is going to show. So it's going to hide, and then move, and then show, so that you don't see it moving. And then you've got a little over a half a second, 0.7 seconds before it hides again. So during this time period right here, that's when you have to click on Gobo to increment the score and make the sound. So let's see how this looks in Scratch. All right, so we're in Scratch now, and you can see over here on the top right-hand corner, this is the moon backdrop. You can see I have a score up here. It looks like it says number 8, so I was playing this game to make sure it works. And so as soon as I hit the green flag, though, if you notice in the program, it says set score to 0. Well, first of all, before we run this, let's find out how we can create this variable called score. So variables are blocks, and they're found over here on the left side, and there's one called variable. So if you select that, these are the variables. Now what I did was I made a new variable. I called it score, and then I just hit the enter a key on the keyboard, and that creates a new variable. And as soon as you see this, it's going to show up back here in your program. And now what you can do is grab these blocks here. Now it says my variable. Well, if you bring down the pull down menu, you can see there's the variable called score, and that's the one that I just created. So that's what you're going to do. And when you do that, now you can drag these blocks into your code. So here's the set block. You can tell I selected score, and it's going to initialize to 0. We're going to take Gobo to 0. We're going to show Gobo. We're going to say a few words for 2 seconds. Then it's going to forever wait 1 second. And while it's doing that, it's going to move to another XY coordinate and then show itself for 0.7 seconds and then hide. And then do this over and over again. And it's going to play a sound, and it's going to increment the score. So let's see what this looks like. I will hit the green flag, and notice the score variable is 0. In fact, let me make this bigger so it's a little bit easier. All right, so now I gotta, oh, got one. Oh, missed. Missed. So I'm clicking on it. I'm not sure if you can hear the sound. I hear it in my headphones, but you can see the score is incrementing, and Gobo is actually, remember that XY coordinate? It was about the size of that rectangle. It's not the full width of the screen. Okay, so there we go. And I went wide like this to make it a little easier. Now, if Gobo is too big, let me stop this. I'm going to shrink the size maybe to 50% of what it was, then hit enter. See, now it's a lot smaller. And I could change the time here too. So change these timers, and you can have a lot of fun with this game as well. And let's see how big you can get your score. And listen to the sound. Alrighty, kids, have fun. See you later.